Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to complete learning the poem Indian Weavers, composed by Sarojini Naidu. We are going to learn stanza 3. But before starting, I would like to make a request to subscribe the channel. Now let's proceed. Stanza 3. Weavers weaving solemn and still. What do you weave in the moonlight chill? White as a feather and white as a cloud, we weave a dead man's funeral shroud. So that was stanza 3. Now the explanation. In the final stanza, the speaker finds the weavers to be quite serious and silent. They are weaving in the chilled moonlit night. They are weaving clothes which are as white as a feather and as white as a cloud, that is, colorless. The speaker asks them what they are weaving, rather than why they are weaving. The weavers reply that they are weaving a shroud for a dead person. Notes: the word solemn means serious. The word still can be interpreted in two ways. First, it means silent, and secondly, it indicates that the weavers are still working at the dead of the night. The phrase moonlight chill means a cold night that is illuminated with moon rays. The word funeral means the observances held for a dead person, usually before burial or cremation. The word shroud means a piece of cloth wrapped around a dead body. The last stanza depicts the last stage of human life, that is, death. The weavers weave clothes for a dead person and thus they become serious and silent. The weavers weave clothes which are as white as clouds and as white as a feather. They choose the color white, signifying the fact that life, which begins and continues with a lot of colors, full of joy, happiness, hope, etc., ends with sorrows and grief. All the colors at the end of life vanish away and single color white remains, which means when a person dies, emotions also die. Death is emotionless and lifeless like a white cloud or a white feather. The chill of the moonlit night is symbolic of death. It is befitting that this shroud is of white color, for white is the symbol of purity, unity, and possibility. Death means the purity of soul, a reunion with the eternal, and the possibility of regeneration. Figures of speech. Imagery. The suggestion of a clear mental picture or image by the use of words is called imagery. It is a suggestive word picture. A poet can create or suggest beautiful sight effects and sound effects by means of words. The expression weavers weaving solemn and still suggests two images. Weavers weaving cloth and the weavers are somber. Symbolism. Poets and writers often use objects or colors or different words to denote an idea. In this poem, the different times of the day, birds, and colors of fabric are conveying the idea of a life cycle, such as blue refers to happiness, hope, etc. Green and purple refers to joys and sorrows. White refers to peace and purity. Simile. It is a figure of speech when someone or something is compared to a completely different person or thing using the words as or like. White as a feather and white as a cloud is an example of simile, as this is comparing the cloth being woven to a feather and the clouds. Alliteration. It is a figure of speech in which the same letter is repeated in the beginning of consecutive or closely placed words. solemn and still. Here, the letter S is repeated. Similarly, weavers weaving, we weave, and what do you weave? In these phrases, the letter W is repeated. Anaphora. It is the deliberate repetition of a word or a group of words at the beginning of a sentence in verse or prose. It is a literary device used to emphasize an idea, introduce a rhythmic quality in the verse, and appeal to the emotions of the reader. Anaphora also makes it easier to memorize a poem due to its rhythm. Weavers weaving, why do you weave, and we weave are the examples of anaphora of this poem. Now let's see the conclusion to the poem. In 12 lines, the poetess had provided a symbolic representation of man's journey from birth to death. The life or works of weavers are also expressed through the poem. It is their fate that they have to work from morning to night. Their condition is well portrayed in the poem. In the poem, birds are used as an image to show different stages of a human being. In the first stanza, the wing of a halcyon has been referred to the happiness of early childhood. In the second stanza, the plumes of a peacock are referred to as the joy of youth, and in the last stanza, a feather which has been detached from a bird signifies death. Variegated colors have also been used to refer to the various emotions. Symbolically, the poem represents the cycle of life and death, with the fates weaving the threads of each stage. And the process is continuous, like the weavers weaving from dawn till night. Life is in constant motion, and each stage is characterized by its own set of emotions, and they last only for a short span of time, paving the way for the next one to arrive. So friends, that was all about the poem Indian Weavers, composed by Sarojini Naidu. Today, I end up this video over here. Thank you.